Summer 1973. France was bleeding. The revolution had torn the old world apart. The king's head had fallen, and the ideals of liberty and equality now clashed with chaos and betrayal. Amidst the storm, the Mediterranean city of Toulon, France's proud naval jewel, turned its back on the Republic. The port opened its gates to the British and Spanish fleets. It was not just a rebellion, it was humiliation, a dagger thrust into the heart of revolutionary France. And in that desperate hour appeared a man no one truly noticed, a young artillery officer from Corsica, with sharp eyes that burned like fire. His name, Napoleon Bonaparte. He was 24. A name unknown, a soldier without rank or favor. Yet Toulon would become his crucible, the forge where a legend was born. When Napoleon arrived, the Republican army was in ruins. Commanders were being dismissed one after another. Troops fought in confusion, disorganized and demoralized. Ammunition was short, artillery scattered and neglected. But this young Corsican did not despair. He walked the front lines in silence, studying every ridge, every gust of wind, every field of fire. And then, with cold clarity, he spoke a single sentence that would change the fate of the battle. Whoever controls the little fort on Legulette Hill controls Toulon. Simple words, but behind them lay the mind of a strategist centuries ahead of his time. Napoleon immediately reorganized the artillery. He gathered blacksmiths, villagers, even prisoners, anyone who could carry metal or forge cannons. He built new batteries, designed fortified trenches, and calculated every shot to the meter. He slept little. He worked side by side with the men, hauling powder through mud, shaping earthworks with his own hands. Through his eyes, soldiers saw a fire they had lost, a belief that this war could still be won. They began to fight not just for France, but for him. As night fell, the harbor of Toulon glimmered beneath foreign flags. The enemy celebrated their victory, unaware that beyond the hills, dozens of French cannons were awakening under the command of a young genius. Napoleon had found the key. To win, he had to strike the enemy's heart, the supply line through the harbor. To do that, he had to take the hill of Legulette. December 16, 1793. The night erupted with thunder. Napoleon's batteries roared to life, and the sky turned red with fire. Cannonballs rained upon the enemy fortifications. Earth and rock burst like waves. The air was thick with smoke, blood, and the screams of the dying. The Republicans advanced through the chaos, muskets flashing, bayonets gleaming. At the front, Napoleon himself directed the fire. When a gunner fell, he stepped into position, aimed, and fired the decisive shot that shattered the enemy fort. The tricolor flag of the Republic rose above the hill of Legulette.
Today,
the turning point had come.
Tomorrow, all of Europe.
The British and Spanish commanders realized the truth. If they stayed, their fleets would be annihilated. By dawn, their warships were ablaze, the harbor engulfed in flames as they retreated in panic. Toulon, once lost, was French again. And among the smoke and ash, in the chaos of victory, a name echoed through the ranks of the officers. That young Corsican, he is a genius. Remember his name, Napoleon Bonaparte. In a single campaign, he rose from obscurity to glory, from a nameless lieutenant to brigadier general. But Toulon was more than a victory. It was a declaration. It revealed the essence of Napoleon's art of war: speed, precision, concentration of force, and above all, the power of striking at the enemy's weakest point. They say that after the battle, when the smoke still hung over the harbor, Napoleon stood alone on the hill, gazing toward the sea. The wind carried the scent of salt and gunpowder. The rising sun lit his face, still streaked with soot and blood. He did not smile. He simply whispered, "Today, Toulon. Tomorrow, all of Europe." That was not arrogance. It was destiny speaking through him. The siege of Toulon was not merely a clash of cannons. It was the awakening of genius. Where others saw defeat, he saw geometry, timing, momentum. Where commanders quarreled, he organized. Where chaos reigned, he built order. Napoleon was not born into power. He had no noble blood, no wealth, no patrons. He was forged from intellect, discipline, and the relentless belief that the mind could conquer fate. Toulon, 1793, the moment when a young man from Corsica dared to dream beyond the horizon, where the smoke of battle carved his name into history, where he proved that a crown is not made of gold, but of vision, courage, and will. More than 2 centuries have passed, yet the echoes of Toulon remain in the textbooks of strategy, in the hearts of leaders, and in the timeless truth that history is shaped by those who see what others cannot. Toulon was not just the beginning of a general, it was the dawn of an era. WarSaga Studio, where history breathes, where battles become legend, and where Napoleon rises from ashes to carve his name into eternity.